Hello, 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 everybody. How we doing tonight on this fabulous Tuesday evening when most of the southern states are under snow? Um, Welcome to the Recon Rally Show. We got a great show for you tonight with a couple of very special guests. Just wanted to let you all know that Mr. Hobson probably won't be joining us this evening. He's in the middle of some stuff, and he's going to have to bail on me tonight. So it is what it is. So you're stuck with me. But we're going to let some people start getting in here. But tonight we have our very special guest, Mr. Noah Herbert from Dent Ops, and he's bringing on a special guest from with him that is actually one of his clients. A lot of you guys may have heard of the Storm Guys, and this is Josh Ratterman from the Storm Guys. He's coming on with us tonight as well. So we're going to get this party started, and let me go ahead and bring these two gentlemen in here, and we're going to make them very welcome and say hello to everybody. Noah, Josh, welcome aboard, gentlemen.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. How you guys doing tonight? Sorry.
It's pretty cold in Texas.
Turn my audio down over
here. 30, I think, but too cold for me here.
So. 30? Yeah, we're at 16 degrees right now in Virginia. We're going single digits.
I talked to my daughter on the way home a little while ago, and Josh, she lives in, technically Montgomery, but she's over at Lake Conroe. And yeah, I think it was, I forget, I didn't even ask her what the temperature was, but I think she got like 5 inches of snow yesterday. Ironically, I saw a live video just a little while ago on the way home. Well, not on the way home, right when I walked in the door, from Galveston Island. It's one of the cams that's overlooking the beach, and the beach is completely snow covered.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we didn't have any of that.
That's insane. We have one of our guys, we have an independent adjuster on staff who's down in Lafayette, and they got over a foot of snow. He's 37. He said he's never seen snow before in Louisiana, and they've got over a foot of snow at his home right now. They declared it a state of emergency. That's just insane.
Oh, wow. Explains why he was calling me today, asking me for more claims to do.
Yeah, he's busy. He's cozied up by the fire.
He called me twice. He's like, "Give me something to do."
Yeah. He can't really walk around and get around anywhere right now. So yeah. No, doing it to it. He's a go-getter.
Oh yeah, working on 134 for me right now. So.
Lord.
Well. So yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, I would have been dealing with all this, but I'm stuck here in sunny California, so nobody yell and scream. I mean,
it's either icy or burning, I guess.
Oh, here it was like 60, I don't know, 68 degrees today or something. Sorry, it was 48 when I left the house this morning. Anybody feel any better?
Yeah,
I'm sure it doesn't. That's all right. So, anyhow, I just wanted to touch base with a couple of things real quick before we actually get rolling.
Sure.
I want to talk about the MTE is next week, guys. I mean, I cannot believe it's right here. It's right now. So everybody's getting ready for it. That's why we're trying to get these last few podcasts in leading up to the show. Of course, the bass tournament is Wednesday the 29th, the day before MTE. We've got all of these raffles going on by so many of the vendors. We've got like 20 or 21 vendors that have made donations for the raffle, which is a minimum of a $500 package, whether it's items or tools or services or whatever the case is. Myself with Dinking, we donated a full 2-week training course. I know, you do so much, Noah, for the things that you do for the raffle, and then the estimating challenge that's coming up as well, which we'll get to here in a second. Tom Williams from Mobile Environmental Solutions, as you know, he donated an $8,000 booth. That booth that y'all saw in the startup video, which is that little dude right there. He donated one of those to the raffle. It's an $8,000 booth. Those raffle tickets are $100. You can purchase those right now on the Kevin Halewood Foundation.org website. You can go right there. If we leave that up for a minute, we'll pop it back up later in the show as well on that QR code, so you can scan it directly. But just go to the Kevin Halewood Foundation.org site, and you can buy those $100 raffle tickets right there. Those tickets will also be available at the show. And he made a huge announcement the other night on our show. I think, Noah, that was the show that you were on as well, I think.
Yeah.
That he's releasing a very special brand new detail booth at the show. It's a brand new booth for detailers, which has approximately, I think it's the same value as that one. So he's going to give anybody that buys the raffle tickets the option of the brand new detailing booth or the hail estimating booth, whichever one that you want. And he even threw out an extra deal there that if you so choose, if you want to upgrade to one of his spray booths, his paint booths, he'll give you the discount of the value of this booth off of the total price of the paint booth, which that's just an incredible offer. So you can't lose. Worst case scenario, if you win and you want to upgrade to the paint booth, you just got about an $8,000 discount off your paint booth for $100. Kind of a no-brainer. So that's that particular raffle. Then all the other vendors will have raffle boxes in their booths. Everybody's going to be selling their individual raffle tickets for their individual raffles, as well as the Kevin Halewood Foundation will be in Tom's Mobile Environmental Solutions booth at booth, I believe it's 135. And so we'll be taking, you can buy raffle tickets there. All of these raffles, we're going to be selling tickets for these individual raffles all the way up till noon on Saturday, at which point Randy and I are going to start going around all the different individual booths of all the different vendors, and we're going to draw those raffles live on air. Now, quick side note, if you are only at the show on Friday and you want to buy raffle tickets, you do not have to be present at the show on Saturday to win. You're going to have write your name and your phone number on the back of the raffle ticket. These are super, super nice raffle tickets that we've had made up. And they've got a stub that you're going to pull off. You're going to keep the stub. We're going to have the big piece that's got your name and your phone number on it. We're going to call your name on Saturday at that drawing, and then we're going to call you on your cell phone immediately live as we make that drawing. So if you happen to have already headed home, don't worry, answer your phone. We got you. Now, if you're not there to pick up your prize, and it is a physical prize that will have to be shipped, you will be required to pay the shipping cost on it. But you don't have to be present to actually win. So, the estimating challenge that this booth is going to be used in is super cool. You know, it's just an amazing event. I mean, you know, the things, Noah, that you do with DenOps and Ray's doing with Classy Estimating and helping guys, and Josh, this is where you come in here in a little bit, that what y'all are doing for guys, especially in the hail industry, getting them every penny these estimates are should be valued at is just incredible. But when you add in this booth to your service, it's a no-brainer. You can't miss the dents that are on these vehicles. I mean, it can't be. Whoops! It's going to show every single dent unequivocally on those. I know Randy bought one of those for last hail season, and one of the things that he said that he has not had an adjuster or an insurance company argue with a single estimate yet. You know, they're always going to argue with, you know, a few $100s. That's just a no-brainer. But as far as the dent counts and the size of the dents and the damage that's actually there, you can't miss it. It's just right there. So you're going to come in. There's going to be a vehicle in that tent at MTE in the booth $20, I believe, is the entry fee. You're going to walk in, you're going to write your estimate. Now, whether you're using whatever software you use, you can use DentMate, you can use Mobile Tech RX, or if you still go old school and want to just hand write an estimate, we're actually going to have matrices printed matrices in the booth. So however you want to forward those estimates over to Noah and to Ray, they're going to go through and process those estimates the way they normally would if you submitted a rekey to them for them to scrub that estimate for you. And the winner of who's gets the closest is going to have a prize at the end of it. But your real prize, for $20, you're going to get both Noah and Ray's estimates. That's your real prize, because you're going to be able to see exactly what you wrote compared to what they go back in, rekey, and write it for every penny that you should be able to get. Noah, if you want to chime in on that, that's it's just a pretty cool opportunity for these guys.
Sure. Yeah, I can definitely chime in on it. It's fairly straightforward. Like, it's very straightforward. It's exactly as Lee just described. You go ahead and write up your estimate, and the challenge is to challenge yourself, really, to see how close that you feel like you might be. I mean, these are the things I know my company and Ray as well. We do this all day, every single day. So just being our focus, we might see some things that others might not see, that others very likely don't see, because it's not their literally full-time gig. And it just helps you to challenge yourself to, at the very least, be able to say, okay, I can work a little bit better on my own estimating. Or hopefully it makes you consider using, a company like Dentops in order to help you with your estimating in the future too. And we do a lot more than just estimating, which we'll get into on this show as well. But yeah, it's going to be a really, really fun, exciting challenge. I think, and just very easy, very easy. So
agreed.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. It's going to be super simple and for everybody to do. And like I said, me personally, I think the true way you win this competition is being able to see those different estimates. And yeah, and also find out who's the best estimator out there. So it's a matter of who's going to get. It's kind of like Price is Right. Who's going to get closest without really going over and trying to pad an estimate that you really don't do the right way, as far as who's going to win this challenge. So it's really a cool opportunity. It really is.
Yeah, Josh.
If I had, I'll try to get in there and do one, because like we were talking the other night, I've always prided myself, being able to write a really good estimate. But I've already seen the example one that I did that was rekeyed, and if I have time, right? I know. Don't even laugh at me, Noah. But I'd love to go in there and do it myself, just because I want to see what it looks like. I really do. I want to see the differences and where I can really dig deep, because the bottom line is, I talk about you guys' services all the time, especially to my students, and it's like, no, you guys have these guys don't have a clue how to write an estimate yet. They don't even know how to push yet, let alone write an estimate. So it's like, look, when you get into that situation and you start dealing with customers, use these guys, use these services, because they're gonna help you. I promise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Josh, and we're back.
Sorry,
I was going to mention to you that I think you guys should check out the tents while you're down there, because I think they could probably be pretty useful for the type of operation that you guys run. And we can talk more about that off of this also, or I could talk about it here. here real quick because it's beneficial for everybody. We talked about this a little bit at the show last week, but in particular, those tents, it's really easy to estimate outside, so you don't tie up a bay. So if you're going into a body shop, for example, you don't have to tie up a bay, and you can set it in a convenient location to be able to do like very quick scoping of vehicles and stuff. So whether you guys are estimates or if you're sending them to us like you typically do anyways, it helps that whole scoping process, the documentation process, go really fast. So it's definitely worth considering. They're going to have like Lee was talking about, and Tom, who was on the show last week, he said they actually have a new version. They've done they're on like the 8th version of the tent or something like that.
Version is what got out.
Yeah, I think it'd be huge, especially when we're working at the body shops, because at the body shops, we're always taking up their space for the collision and things like that. If we can move it outdoors, it'd be huge. So absolutely worth that alone pays for itself.
Mr. Craig Dyer said, "Howdy." I just wanted to say hi to Craig and hi to Stefan as well. Thanks for a great show tonight, buddy. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. That's something everybody has dealt with over the years, Noah. I mean, nobody has enough space, right?
No.
There never is. It doesn't matter how big a shop you have. The bigger the shop you have, the more cars you try to bring in, the more techs you try to bring in. You always run out of space, no matter what. And you can just throw this thing up in your parking lot, and you're good to go.
For sure, absolutely. Well, and then from like a deals perspective, because one thing from with the body shops, when you're going in and you're trying to pitch a body shop for Hale, there's a lot of considerations that you have to like things that you have to take into consideration. One of them being, if you take up their space, then they're not going to be as productive for their normal workload that they typically do. So that becomes a leverage point in your negotiations with them, which typically is going to be like a percentage, or you might be having to pay a bay fee, or a combination of those things. So it's just one less thing. Oh, I should say not one less thing. It's one more thing that you're in control of during a negotiation. So anyways,
that's huge.
Very interesting concept to me. I've just seen this over the last, I guess, couple of months myself, and now I'm super interested in it. So I'm excited. Anyways, that's all legitimate. This is not just to hype the whole thing up. Like I'm actually super excited about it.
Yeah. Noah's buying a lot of raffle tickets.
Raffle tickets. I'm getting some raffle tickets.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Josh, tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about the Storm Guys.
So my name's Josh. I've been with the Storm Guys for about a little over a year actually. I started off in the insurance world actually. So I was working for a corporate insurance company, and then I went over to local. And then somehow I found my way in the hail industry about 8-9 years ago. I started out in Denver and then worked my way down to Texas. Now I work all over the entire country. So don't really have get to call Texas home, but I'm never here. So, but I do accounts. I'm a VP of accounts for Storm Guys. So I manage accounts, get new accounts, and then just build relationships from there. Do mostly B2B work now, thanks to Noah. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Hail community, pal.
Yeah, absolutely. Still young. So.
Yeah. It's I did it for many years and still love doing it. I just don't get a chance to do it very often, but it's an awesome community. It really is.
Oh, absolutely.
There's not, you can't network enough within this community. Are you getting a chance to go to MTE?
Yeah. Yep. I'll be there. So
awesome.
It'll be my first time going actually. So I'm pretty excited. Noah invited us out there, so we're going out there to support him.
Oh no, an MTE version, Noah.
Yeah. He's gonna be huge. We've been burning the midnight oil just getting ready for it. So we're doing a lot of stuff, which might be a good segue. Was there something that we wanted to cover before jumping into just any of the stuff going on?
Go for it.
Nice.
You got the mic, friend.
Yeah. So a big part of even inviting Josh and the rest of the Storm Guys down. So we're hosting Education Day. I shouldn't say we're hosting. We're actually sponsored it this year. We did a couple of sessions last year. One with Paul Corden, who's a good friend of ours, and we do a lot of work with, and then also one with Dan Ontrop. The one with Paul had to do with some pricing and psychology and kind of some negotiation type tactics for not just estimating your jobs, but really just customer psychology in general. And then the other session that we had to do last year was basically storm preparedness. Are you ready for a hailstorm? And what can you do to be ready for a hailstorm? And our focus really was to try to pack as much value in those sessions as possible. Because for anybody who might be watching right now, if you've gone to some education sessions in the past, they've been kind of hit or miss. I know I've been somewhat disappointed in some of them that I've attended, and I've been really happy with some of them that I've attended. So our goal was really to not turn it into a huge sales pitch the whole time, but legitimately give value the whole time, and then give an opportunity for people to learn a little bit more about us. My mentality is, if we provide value, we show people that we're actual experts in a particular area or even multiple areas. And if our free stuff is that good, then how much better is our paid stuff going to be? And that's that we try to act that out in everything we do. So those were our sessions last year. We packed out the room on both of the sessions, and I had multiple people come up to me and tell me at the end of the expo that one or both of our sessions were their favorite parts of the entire expo. So we decided to double down or triple down on it this year, and we just sponsored the entire education day. And as a part of that, I was trying so hard to get an entire room for an entire day, and I was trying to convince MTE that we were just going to pack it full of high value, high quality people and high quality sessions, and just pure value, like drinking through a fire hydrant, right, or fire hose. I couldn't convince them to give us an entire room for the whole day, but I did convince them to give us a room for the entire afternoon. So we have 4 amazing back-to-back sessions we're going to be teaching down at Education Day. They're primarily focused on hail because that's kind of our bread and butter, but all the sessions are going to be extremely valuable to PDR companies and technicians. So the first one is going to be how to earn from every hail lead. This one's going to be with Paul Corden. If you don't know Paul Corden, he's the creator of the PDR Price Guide and the Standard Matrix. He is a phenomenal human being and just a huge contributor to the PDR industry at large, and pricing and getting paid what you're worth in the PDR industry. So we love to have him back. This is actually on some things that he and I have worked together on over the last several years. Basically, I think in 2020, we started working on some of these things. And it really has to do with, we were so tired of only making money off of repairs for hail jobs. And we had so many tire kickers coming through our door, and we had cars totaling out. And we said, how can we earn from every type of customer who comes through the door during a hailstorm? And so we started working on it then. We've figured out a ton of stuff since then, and we've put together some really phenomenal resources that we've actually made free, and a couple more that we're getting ready for just Education Day. And that's all hosted up on the DenOps website. Don't even need to sign up for anything. Just use it. We have a lot of shops that are actually using those free resources every single day, which is really cool. So the second session we're doing is called Decoding the Insurance Claim Process plus Strategies for 2025. That adjuster on our team I mentioned earlier, Tyler Touche, we actually met through Ryan Brewer, who's another upstanding character in the PDR industry. He owns a shop called Dempro USA down in Lafayette, Louisiana, and he also is the co-host of the Masters of Recon podcast along with Corey Kleinfeld there, which is another great show. But he introduced us. We brought Tyler aboard in about September of last year. We've been doing a lot of things I'll talk about as well, but he's our resident independent adjuster. 20 plus years of experience in catastrophes and adjusting. And he also has a body shop background, a family owned body shop that he grew up in. So he's got a fantastic just background and wealth of knowledge and experience. I mean, Josh can definitely attest to that. Been a huge help. Actually, we flew him out to Sheridan for a storm that they've been working, that the storm guys have been handling out there. And myself and my brother also went out to Sheridan too to help out with some of that stuff. But Tyler's an awesome dude. He's going to be doing that session. I'm playing moderator for all of the sessions. Following that session, I'm doing one on how to write hail estimates that get you paid in 2025. And that's yours truly, Noah Hebert, founder and CEO at DenOps. It's exactly how it sounds. I'm going to be going through a lot of the strategies that we use to write our own estimates. I'm an open book on this stuff. I know that at scale, it's very difficult. So onesies, twosies estimates, I don't really care about those. I like being able to support operations when they really need help. And then the last session we're going to do is actually a panel discussion. It's called Your Guide to Hail Repair Contracting for both employers and technicians. Lee, also Randy, if he's in the background somewhere, you guys probably know how it is on the Hail Trail. You guys definitely know how it is on the Hail Trail. It can be really, really difficult to not just find deals, but to evaluate if it's the right opportunity as technicians. And then as employers, if you've ever been on the other side of the coin, it can be really, really hard to structure a good deal. It's super, super easy to think as a technician, oh man, the person I'm working for is making all this money and everything, and not really think about, how everything really splits out and all the overhead and all of the other things that end up happening on the side of the employer. So the goal with that session is to really partly bring perspective, but also take some seasoned veterans who have been in this industry for a long time and their input and their insight over the years, who have been on both sides of the aisle, to try to give some advice to even some newer people or people that are considering getting on the Hail Trail. So part of that session is going to be Paul Corden, his brother Tim Corden, who may be the lesser known brother, but is phenomenal and absolutely brilliant as well. So I'm super happy to have him on there too. My dad, Keith Hebert, who's been in the industry for over 25 years. I grew up in the industry, second generation, because of him. And then we also have Dan Ontrop returning as well, who's the founder of PDRcontractors.com and is actually the co-founder of a subsidiary that we have called PDR Hail Claims, which is something I might end up talking about too. So that's all just education day. Then we got our booth itself, the estimating challenge, obviously the fishing tournament, which I'm super excited about, and it's going to be crazy. Available online for individuals who are not coming to MTE. Yes, that's one of the things that we've been working on over the last couple of weeks is getting all of our gear and our kind of technology figured out, squared away, so that we can be recording these sessions, including the audio and the video. So it's a decent quality. We don't like grainy little YouTube videos. So we'll get some really good stuff. But the entire goal of those sessions is for people to walk away almost dazed, to be like, how can I not crush it in business this year? How can I not take some of these strategies, even a few of them, implement them into my business and either save myself a ton of time or make a ton more money, or both, right? So that's our goal, and so we'll leave it all out on the court, basically. That's just MTE. There's so much more stuff.
That sounds awesome, dude. I mean, really and truly, I mean, that's going to be some amazing information from a bunch of amazing people. So, I would highly recommend as many people get to that as possible. And yes, Ops is sponsoring Keeping It Real fishing tournament and has two team boats.
Yep, 2 team boats, because we like fishing too. So we're on one of them. And the jerseys this year are sweet. The jerseys last year were really awesome, but the ones this year with the hoods, those things came out pretty sick. So
I don't even have mine yet because Randy's got mine, and I can't wait to get it. It's they're pretty cool.
Yeah,
they really are.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, and hopefully, if the weather report holds, it's supposed to be really, really. It's going to be chilly when we head out in the morning. Like, not as chilly as it was last year, but it's supposed to be a beautiful day.
Nice.
The last night there's a small chance of some showers, a quick shower in the morning, but that's about it. It'll burn off pretty quick.
Nice. Gotcha. Well, it's the weather. We know how the weather is, so I mean, it'll probably change by the time we get there. So,
Mother Nature. Most of us around here, we've made our living over the years from Mother Nature, and we don't know how much of a fickle bitch she can be.
Yeah. I'm really conflicted about it sometimes, actually, because I'm like, it almost feels like profiteering. So
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be amazing. I'm going to try to. I may try to swing by the education day for that you're doing. So that'll be cool, brother. That's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. Don't know anybody who's listening. Don't let that be an excuse to not come to the sessions if we have it available for recording. We're going to try our best, but we have had some issues in the past. So try to attend. What I do know is that we're going to have some camp outs for all of the sessions. So space will be very limited. So if you get into the session, you'll probably want to try to keep your spot. There will be refreshments in a room next door. It's not another session room next door, but there'll be like coffee and snacks and stuff, I believe. So what would be worthwhile is to kind of set your stuff on your chair and then come right back to the session. Because I it was standing room in our sessions last year. So
well, take that for the session. For those guys that have never been to MTE, and especially that have never taken time to go to the education day, that happens a lot. I mean, these education seminars normally are really, really phenomenal. And there's just a ton of information that you're not going to get anywhere else. You know, especially with guys like yourself and the Cordons and, these guys, everybody gets together, and some of the other, education seminars that are going to be there. This is the only place you get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is. It's really cool. So, Josh, what? Obviously, y'all have been using Noah's service with DenOps for a while now.
Yep.
Kind of tell everybody, just from your perspective, what it's done for your business. I mean, I'll tell Noah to shut up for a minute. We all love it. but from your perspective, what has it done for y'all's business? I mean, how has it helped or benefited you?
I mean, where could I even start? Not to toot his horn too much, but honestly, when we first started, we were doing a lot of retail stuff. So opening up shops, storm chasing, things like that. And kind of going through with that whole process, dealing with the insurance companies not approving the claims, taking 10 days to send us approvals back, things like that. It was pretty hectic. So we kind of contacted Noah. And then he's an open book, like he said. Like, he'll share absolutely anything with you. I'd call him, like, hey, I'm in this situation. He'd always tell me exactly how to handle it. And then he would even send people out to even come out and help with it. So the knowledge that we gained from it was just unheard of, really. I haven't seen anything like it. But we were able to honestly grow our company massively. We just completely changed the trajectory of where we were going. And now we do a lot of business to business, a lot of corporate fleets. We're doing dealerships. He helps with those. Body shops, business to business, processing hail claims for them. And even in that process, he was even able to get what do you call them? Drive-through lanes. Got instant approvals on everything. The adjusters started trusting everything that we were doing because Tyler, who he provided with us with his international adjusting license, that's just huge. The adjusters meet with him. We set up drive-through lanes, get 30 approvals in one day, crush them all through. They even help out on the back end where we're seeing, like today, we're having some chasing down payments. They're always there to help. So it's just completely changed everything that we were doing. And it takes a lot of time off of our hands so we can get more accounts. So we went from babysitting these storms where we're sitting there for 2 to 3 months trying to process everything through. But now we have DenOps, which is doing all that back end work for us, where we're just fixing cars, which is absolutely insane. So now we're trying to get to 20, 30 different storms, body shops, dealerships all at one time, which we can all process through DenOps. If we didn't have DenOps, we wouldn't be able to do that. We wouldn't have the staffing to do that. So that's been just absolutely huge. Another thing is, we've had, we like to assign like shop coordinators. I can have people that are out there that only have limited experience and are still able to process everything because Noah's team has been able to process everything in the back for us, where they're just circling up the dents. So we have guys out there, they circle up the dents, send them out to Noah, they get approved, no questions asked. A lot of times nothing's even taken off the estimates. It's pretty impressive, I must say. So.
Well, and that's
yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, Noah's head, swelling. No,
okay. Yeah. So it's all true though.
Noah, you're providing a service, and that's the reason why I genuinely wanted to hear from Josh. Yeah. Because you and I have talked, Randy, we've all sat and talked about it and kind of told a little bit about what DenOps does. But hearing it from Josh, I mean, I think, Josh, you really hit the nail on the head a second ago, that so many guys in the industry, and honestly, this is not just I'm not doing a plug sponsor for Noah. Mm-hmm. This is a plug to help guys in our industry. Yeah. The reality to it is, y'all have been able to grow your business because of the service, because you're being able to expand to levels that you would have never been able to expand to because of the back end help. I think a lot of people have have a misconception of what DenOps services are. They think it's just rewriting an estimate. That's this much of what DenOps does.
That's surface level.
It's huge how they can rekey and scrub an estimate to get every penny that you deserve on that estimate. That's legit. Period.
Oh yeah. If there's ever a question, I just call Tyler straight up, and then he calls the adjuster. 10 minutes later, I have an approval.
Right.
No questions asked. It's insane. So if I have a problem, I don't even deal with the adjusters anymore. I'm like, yeah, call this guy. I just pass him over to Tyler. Done. So no questions asked.
Think about, and y'all are a bigger company, but think about the small guys. When I would go set up on a storm by myself, and I bring in 2 or 3 or 4 techs, and and we're running, on a small storm, I'm running 50, 60 cars in a month and a half or something, just knocking through, a small storm, right?
Yeah.
But I'm having to do all of that. And it's like, well, I need to go push, but then, I got to write these estimates. I got to call the insurance company. I got to sit on hold for 3 hours to get this adjuster on the phone and all of that. I don't think people realize all of the services that come in on the backside with what DenOps does, where it truly alleviates all of that off of the head of who's running the storm and the business and the shop, where like you said it, we can just go push,
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what, let's face it, as a hail guy, that's all I want to do is go push a call. I don't want to have to sit on the phone with the insurance company. I don't want to have to write that estimate. I don't want to have to order parts. I don't want, not that they're ordering parts, but you get my point.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It's on a roadmap.
Yeah.
I want a percentage of that for giving you the idea.
Yeah.
No. But I don't think people realize all of the different factors. It's like, yes, do the challenge at MTE, and you'll see what that estimate is. But you really need to stop and go on their website, talk to Noah, talk to any of the reps there, and really hear the services, because they're going to do way more than you think they're going to do. Like you said, you have an issue with something, call this guy.
Yeah, no questions. Right there.
I'm out. I'm going to go push a car. I've got 30 cars in the parking lot that are approved waiting to go because of what he did. You don't like what I wrote on that one? Call that guy.
Oh yeah, even on the sales side, since I've never pushed a dent, but I can sell it. Even on the sales side, when I'm going into car dealerships and negotiating, I'm like, hey, call DenOps, and then I'm like, hey, this is what I tell them my situation. I'm like, hey, what could we do here? They'll find a way. They're like, all right, go ahead and let's write an estimate on a certain amount of cars, and then I get he'll send a team out to the dealership that I'm at, and they'll go and process all those claims for me. Then I just go meet with the dealership, and the dealership will tell me, like, all right, so this is what we have. This is what your appraiser has. We can negotiate now. So I use them for negotiations. I use them for absolutely everything, their services anyways. So they're out there doing all these estimates, and it's helping me make a better negotiating terms and get bigger deals, better deals, and everyone benefits. The dealership, we do. Same thing with fleets. I've used them for fleets. I've used them, that was in St. Louis. There's over 400 cars. Processed all of those for me. And then we had, let's see, what else? We used retail. So we had a retail shop. We've used them for retail, car dealerships, DRP, direct repair lanes, you name it. Every aspect of the hail industry, I have used Noah. And it's been helpful in every way. So it's not just for text, it could be for sales, anything.
Right. And like I said, I think that's the amazing side of what DenOps does and what Noah has established and built here, because he Josh Dale. That was for Randy.
Oh yeah. Well, that's where that fleet was.
He was on fleet, Randy. You're good.
Yeah. Already out.
Yeah. Feeling a little bit better.
I love that. I appreciate you saying something about it, Josh. And it's part of the reason I wanted Josh to come on the show is because we've actually been testing a lot of things with the Storm guys, because they're really good. They're one of the really difficult things in building any company whether you're doing products or services and you're working with people, is getting feedback. And the Storm guys have been fantastic for feedback and real-time feedback. And we have a really good relationship, not just with Josh, but the other guys on his team as well, the other people on his team. And so that has been a huge benefit to us as well, because we can take the things we learned from Josh and the hundreds of other PDR companies that we work with and hail repair companies that we work with, and we can figure out what works best at a very high scale, and then adapt our solutions and build new solutions in order to address those problems for everybody. So Lee, kind of to what you talked about, like the Storm guys are a bigger operation, but then you have smaller, you maybe have solo operations too. One of the things that I absolutely love, and this was a really interesting trend this last year, is we had a number of we primarily work with local PDR companies, right? Those are most of the shops that have joined Dentops are local brick and mortar PDR companies. Usually it happens after it hails because they're trying to figure out what to do after it hails. You're just not used to it as a local retail operation. We had so many local companies this past year who our point of contact was the wife, a Dent wife, who maybe didn't typically work inside of the business, but they had hail that came through, and the husband is like, I just got to push dents, or I got to do whatever. And the wives stepped in and took over the office. And it was amazing to me. It was super, super cool experience. We try to build everything really, really simple for the normal person to be able to come in. You don't need to know all the technical lingo and stuff in order to use our service. What you need to know is basically your starting point. What you need to know is like, hey, we need this from you. So you sign up for DenOps like you're signing up for Facebook or something. You plug in your company details, and then you land on a quick start page. This is how you get started with our service. And it's basically, we just set your account to default settings. Well, this is generally what works for most people that use the service. The first estimate and the first claim are free, so you can try it out. And then we know we're going to dial it in after that. So let's have a conversation after the first one. Is there anything you don't like? Maybe in this particular situation, we need to change this up. Let's get your account settings set to just what you need so we can roll through these things. And then we end up doing a lot of coaching, because I 100% believe that an educated customer is the best kind of customer. So if we help work through, we might have a lot of conversations up front, but we've seen time and time again, those conversations start going down and down and down. And as much as we love talking to people, and I mean, we will just chat sometimes because we love those relationships, but we have fewer and fewer conversations. The conversations are shorter and shorter and shorter because people are getting it. They got their feet out from under them. So we have had some concern, people who have said some things like, while using DenOps, I have some office staff who can do that. We don't replace office staff. We can't replace an in-person or like literally physical in-person person. What we do is we maximize their effectiveness. We make it so that front office person, whether they're doing intake at the front office or they're doing estimates or writing scopes or they're doing insurance communications, we 10x their productivity. We make it so that they can do so much more than they otherwise would, because what's your alternative? You might have to go out and hire somebody, or you burn the midnight oil and you burn out after dealing with a hailstorm for a month, 2 months, 3 months, however long that trickle effect happens. So that's really our goal at the end of the day. But looping things back around, I love that we have Josh on here, because we've tried so many things with them, and we've been refining so many services that we haven't even made available to all of our shops yet, just a handful of shops. Josh and the Storm guys being one of them. And I'm really, really excited to launch them this year. One of them being what we call full claims management or claim negotiation, where Tyler's involved in that, and we have we have an entire claims team. We have an entire estimating team. We have an entire claims team. Tyler's been kind of at the head of the claims negotiation and getting the rest of our team all synced up and dialed in for what that looks like. But we're not an all or nothing solution. We try to fill the gaps in an operation. So like if you only need an estimate in CCC, we call that a translation. We were actually the ones who created the terminology translation because we thought that Recon was not intuitive enough. It's very, very clear when you say I'm translating this estimate from one language to a language that the insurance company understands. It paints a picture in your mind, right? So we can do just translations, literally just putting it into CCC1. And we found that a lot of the PDR companies we work with, their body shop accounts much prefer that. They don't need all of the extra stuff. They can fill in the gaps on the extra stuff, the scrubbing portion, what we call it. So that translation actually ends up becoming a bridge and be a huge administrative solution that, again, like Josh just kind of talked about, you can use to leverage in your negotiations with the body shop. So we've literally had shops who have taken that solution. We charge a flat fee for everything that we do. They've taken that solution, and we've had shops that have gone into their body shop accounts where they're maybe at a 30% rate, and they've been able to renegotiate down to like a 20% rate. That is a huge unlock in value that not only unlocks more money for the repair operation, but it also gets just the whole claims process that much faster, because we turn stuff around in less than 24 hours, usually same day. Or we can do the scrub, or we can do the claim admin, or we can do all of it. So,
Noah, let me interrupt you for just a second. I want to clarify something for something, because I think there's a lot of guys out there that may not understand why that's so important. So using just Mobile Tech RX as our example, whether you're using DentMate or Mobile Tech, whatever, but let's just use Mobile Tech as an example. Mobile Tech's a great software, and I can go in and write that estimate in Mobile Tech. But here's what Noah's actually talking about, guys. The software system that the body shops use, and most of the body shops and most of the insurance companies use, ours is CCC1, right? Well, the only problem with Mobile Tech in that scenario is they don't talk to each other. So when you line item something in Mobile Tech, it doesn't match, and they can't upload it into their system. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Noah. By them translating it from, let's say, Mobile Tech, like I said, I'm just using them as the example, translating your estimate from Mobile Tech. Let's say you created it there and you sent it to Noah to do a translation rekey. Translating it from Mobile Tech RX estimate to CCC1 allows you to either send it directly to the insurance company or to your body shop, and then they can upload it directly into their system and manipulate it. Their system will read it, so they can see everything that you've done and understand it, because the two languages are the same. It's literally two different languages. That's why it's so important.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that's a lot of first part of the equation. Sorry, what was that?
I'm sorry. Off. I don't know what the hell's going on with my ring light over here, but it just keeps changing colors, and it shouldn't be, so I'm going to turn it off. It's annoying.
Who's ready to go fishing at the second annual Keeping It Real Fishing Tournament? Join us on Wednesday, January 29th at Lake Toho in Kissimmee, Florida. Just one day before MTE kicks off. The Lunker Lake. Lake Toho is Florida's #1 big bass lake. Last year, we saw plenty of 7, 8, and 9-pound lunkers, with many participants catching their personal bests. Who will be our next champion? Which team will be our next big winners? Will an exhibitor team dethrone Team Excalibur for the most weight caught? Last year, Ronnie De La Quila from Team A1 landed a massive lunker weighing 9 pounds, 6 ounces. Who will break the record this year? On the exhibitor side, Vince D'Alessandro from Team Ensign caught a 7-pound, 4-ounce bass. Which exhibitor team will take this title in 2025? Sign-ups are happening now. Visit KevinHalewoodFoundation.org for more information and to secure your spot for the hottest pre-event ticket at MTE Orlando this January. It's Lunker time. Proceeds go to the Kevin Halewood Foundation.
Gentlemen, I think that was Randy telling me to shut up.
That tournament is going to be fun. I'm especially excited about it because apparently my boat is the one that has the owner of the whole fishing guide company on it. So I'm optimistic.
Oh, yeah.
Randy has gone all the way up to, but not crossed the line of making promises that we're going to win. But he's practically guaranteed it, I think. No, I'm just kidding. But it is going to be a lot of fun.
That's a big call out. Have you been keeping up with, speaking of the tournament, have you been keeping up with all the shit talking going on with Jim Mitchell?
No, I haven't. Is he saying he's going to win?
Okay, no. So let me bring you up to speed, Bub. So Jim's fishing on one of the Anson boats with Woody Koss and forgive me, I can't think of Mike Reyes from I think Eliminate. I think Mike's the other guy in that particular boat. Well, Jim's wife Schley is also fishing in the tournament. She's on Matt Armijo's Get a Grip boat, so they're not in the boat together. So last week on Craig Dyer, Anson's Tool Porn Thursday, right? Craig made a bet that that Schley would outfish Jim. He called.
I like it.
So, and it ended up being a $200 bet, or that he ended up putting $100 and it's like a $200 bet. So I came out after he posted that, and I said, Craig, I'll take that bet, and I'll cover the $100. I got $100, and of course we're all donating this to the foundation. Yes. I'll bet $100 that Schley will beat Jim as well. But then. I don't know if you're aware, but my girlfriend Chelsea is also fishing the tournament, and she's in one of Anson's other boats with Jason and Weta Thrasher. So I put $200 on Chelsea to beat Jim.
Oh no!
Oh no! Are you serious? Oh no!
So does that mean you bet?
Okay, I don't know what's going on. I haven't talked to Jim since Sunday, but anyhow, I'll find out what's going on. But that's what the whole thing was. It's been going back and forth. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. Now I'm mad about even bringing this up. I wish okay. I'm going to shut up now.
Well, it's going to be a good time.
What's going on? I'll reach out to Jim. I hope everybody's okay. That's all I know. So I don't know what that was about. So so I pray that everything's okay. Anyhow, thanks, Randy.
Just in the background pulling strings.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyhow, I just wanted to throw. I didn't mean to interrupt you before, but I did want to throw that out there because I think a lot of people, because I've talked to so many people over the years, I don't think they understand. A lot of people don't understand that it's like, well, so it's CCC1. Why do I need to pay for that translation? Whoop-de-doo. What is it really going to do for me? What is it going to do for you? It's going to get your estimate written the right way and get you every freaking penny that you should get on that estimate where you don't miss anything. Because, we can write a really good estimate, but you're going to miss a bolt, a nut, a clip, a trim panel, a part that needs to be R&I'd. You're going to miss things, and let alone the size of the dent and the dent count and all those factors. But you're going to get everything that's written. But I keep using the word legitimate, but I mean it. It's like at the end of the day, and I know we all, you've got, everybody's got their opinions of adjusters and insurance companies and whatever. They're going to pay the correct amount if you show them that it's needed to be paid.
Yeah, that's if you have the right documentation and justification. Paul says documentation is justification is salvation. That's what Paul Corden says a lot. It's his little quip, and it's 100% true. It's 100% true. Sure. There was a really interesting situation a couple of weeks. It was a post that we do a lot of work with Nate McDowell for McDowell Specialty Repair over in Idaho, and he's posted a lot of stuff on Paul's Facebook page, the Price Event Facebook page, which is a great place if you're looking to up your game just in general, not DenOps stuff, but just really great people over there and helping to raise up the industry and really raise the level of like what you can get paid as, particularly as a retail PDR operation, not hail per se, but as a retail PDR operation. But Nate had posted something on there and it fired up a lot of people because it was a little bit misleading in the post. It was the insurance approval where you talked about everything that justified, right? And it caused a lot of butting heads because there was some people saying, "Well, you PDR'd that." It was like a crease on a trunk, you PDR'd that estimate. He just said that all he took was a picture of the last page of the insurance estimate that has the summaries of the dollar amounts and everything, right? And so you can see very clearly on there, like conventional body, like parts and all of this stuff. And they're like, you PDR'd it. We're like, listen, the insurance company wrote a conventional estimate. This is not our estimate right here. Actually, it was a whole thing. But the long and short of it is, Nate, since they've since taken the post down. Nate took it down because he didn't want as much of the pushback, which I understand as a local business. But it was really great because it was a fantastic point of clarity where I actually explained everything that happened throughout that entire claim, and a lot of people came back around and said, oh, that makes sense. Okay, when you say it like that, that's okay. All right, you really have a full picture of how it works. We see it all the time with hail, especially.
Sure.
Sometimes it's really difficult to estimate something with PDR. The tools that we have at our disposal, I mean, I'm sure, Lee, I'm positive you've seen it over and over and over again. The stuff that people fix these days is insane. It's crazy. It's unprecedented in the history of paintless dead repair. And the reality is the tools at our disposal that we have in order to properly estimate those things for PDR have not kept up with the ability that people have been able to build over time. So the reality is we end up having to compare repair methods. We need to say, okay, what happens if this went to a body shop? This thing, there is no PDR estimating tool that can help me to properly estimate this smash. I send this to the insurance company. They're going to look at this for conventional. So you're forced to look at what we call comparative price. If you've ever used the comparative pricing feature in Mobile Tech or X, that's exactly what it is. It says this is what the comparative conventional price is. Mm-hmm. The difference is you don't have a whole itemized breakdown. That's what we do with DenOps is we find the itemized breakdown of what that looks like. And then the same thing with hail. Something goes off matrix. What do? It's off matrix. How are you supposed to write this thing? So it's a whole process.
That's what I was getting ready to bring up. I can't tell you how many times over the years I wrote a hail estimate that it maxed out the insurance company's matrix, so they wrote it conventional, but that doesn't mean I didn't PDR it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not going to pay that or replace it just because I can PDR it. All inevitably, and I think this is another factor that a lot of people don't realize. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. When the insurance company writes it conventional, that's the max they're going to pay. I could write a PDR estimate that would exceed the conventional repair. Mm-hmm. They're not going to pay that. Why would they? They're going to pay the max cost it would cost to replace it. Well, fine. They max it out. They pay to replace it. All that means is I can't go back and sub it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Exactly. Pretty much. Generally speaking, so I would say 95 to 98% of the time, the max is going to be that conventional replacement cost is what you'll max out at. The alternative to that, the times when you could potentially get paid more, is if there is a particular part that is on back order, out of stock or anything, and you're taking more things into the equation than the actual cost of the repair. You're taking like time into consideration, for example, because insurers, when they're looking at claims in general, it's not just the pure cost to repair the vehicle. It's all of these other costs that are associated with the claim as well, such as rental car, such as their adjusters or their staff that they have to pay in order to be processing this claim. And the longer and longer a claim goes on, the money clock is ticking, right? It's just burning cash that whole time as they go through. So they actually, it depends. They want claims to settle faster, or they want claims to settle slower because they know if they wait too long and if they drag out the claims, it's a particular tactic of larger insurance companies. If they drag out the claims, then the repair facility is probably more likely to settle for a lesser amount. So there's a lot that goes into all of these things, the nuance of all of it. But again, that's why we created DenOps, and that's why we do all the things with DenOps.
Yeah, and that's completely valid. I mean, there's always an exception to every rule, of course. And you're right about the whole, they're especially with parts these days, something can be on a national back order. You may not be able to get that replacement part for 6 months, let's say. So, yeah, I hear you on that. You're absolutely correct. I stand corrected on that. But generally speaking, that's kind of was the point I was making. But the point I was really making is if they write a conventional, that doesn't mean I can't PDR it. Hi, Randy.
Yes. That is a whole thing that we'll be talking about over at MTE, because it can be a can of worms when you get into it. And so I'm not an attorney, right? We've done a lot of these things. We've spoken to attorneys. We've spoken to a lot of shops. We've done all kinds of stuff. So we'll talk a lot more about that down at MTE in terms of repair plans, repair estimates, working with your customer versus working with the insurance company, and all of those different things. There are many parties involved in an insurance claim is basically what it comes down to.
Well, and just so I don't get called out at some point, I will say the times that I have done that over the years, because I can think of a couple of claims I've had over the years that, that I had some specific jobs that they maxed the vehicle out. The insurance adjuster notated that I was not going to conventional it, that I was still going to PDR it, but that particular vehicle maxed their matrix out. So I made sure that they did notate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it happens all the
time. Hello.
I just wanted to make a comment. I didn't want to interrupt you guys.
By all means.
I wanted to say, Noah, you brought a good thing up there. But one thing talking about how some of the insurance companies just want to slow the process down. We've seen this a lot this summer, and especially with one insurance company, the biggest, without naming any names. The guy with the red white logo. The guy. My son's name's Jake. And it reminds me of these guys. Anyway, this company that I'm talking about was really slowed the process down, slowed the claims down, everything. And we started to not bring in the cars until we got approval. And sometimes we'd see it take 2 months, but we were so backed out anyway, it didn't really matter. And then we just told the customer, hey, your insurance company's dragging feet. But once we discuss with the insurance company, once they're like, well, when the car gets in there, I'm like, they said, oh, just go ahead and send us up and then we'll approve it. And I'm like, no. We make sure all of our subs are done before the vehicle's in here because we're for limited space. And I don't know why that started speeding the process up. So whatever that means, maybe there's something to that. I don't know, but I can tell you that's what we ended up doing pretty much this entire year. Now, you do chance that customer going somewhere else, but we always got a deposit. And we really didn't see anybody. I think all year, maybe 8 people vanished on us. And out of 600 cars, that's pretty darn good. So anyway, I want to just tell you that when you said that, I was just going to pop in and say that. All right.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
Just information for down the road with anybody. Josh, I don't know how you guys do that. Most guys just bring the cars in, bring them in. The car just sits there. We got so many great reviews that for the way that we did it, I think that's probably going to be the way I move forward, unless I'm in a DRP shop or something. But because if you looked at all the reviews, I bet you we got 50 reviews and every one of them was saying how fast we were, the turnaround time. They didn't even think about that it took us so long to get it approved. When they dropped the car off, they picked it up the next day. So we got great reviews out of it, and it gained a lot more just because people look at reviews all the time.
Yeah,
I'll let you just 100%. The customer, their turnaround time was just from when they dropped it off to you, not when you started dealing with the claim. So that's a valid point, Randy.
100%. And the reality is every storm is a little bit different. Like there are similarities. There's going to be consistent things across them, but every storm, the severity of the damage is different. The people that you're dealing with, Josh, I'm sure you can probably speak to that. The people that you're dealing with in different parts of the country, it's insane. Like the differences. You'd assume everybody's just kind of generally the same, but no, not at all. And everything, the processes. Actually, I do want to say this real quick. Part of the reason I started DentOps, so I actually traveled for 8 years doing hail before I started DentOps. And like I said, I grew up in the PDR industry. My summers were spent, my mom would load me and my siblings up in the camper and we go visit dad wherever he was working, right? So I grew up in this whole space. While I was traveling doing hail, I started building systems. I have a very strong technology background, right? So I do a lot with like development and everything, technology and software and all that too. So that's part of the reason we have such a technological bent over at DenOps. I was so frustrated that every single time we went to a new deal, which depending on the year, you might be at 3, 4, 5, 6 different deals throughout the entire year before you call the season. I was so frustrated that it seemed like every single time we went to a new hail deal that we were having to reinvent the wheel. We're like, we just went through the same thing at the last place we were at. How is it we have to figure out how to like intake customers again? We already figured out a good process and we were rolling with it over there, right? And so part of that frustration, out of that frustration, I just started creating solutions. So before I started DenTops, I started creating solutions. And now DenTops has become kind of the culmination of those solutions, right? And we started a company out of it. I had motivation because I was seeing a girl at the time who's now my wife. So that worked out. And I needed to get off the road because that's just a really, really difficult life when you're in a relationship. But anyways, I just wanted to put that out there. You shouldn't have to reinvent the wheel every time. And likewise, operations who haven't dealt with hail before, they should have the tools at their disposal in order to learn how to do it very quickly, because very overnight, you're going to be inundated with a lot of work and everybody sees it. Oh, hail, thank God you just got hail, right? All your PDR buddies are calling you up now saying, oh, hey, I saw your town just got hit. And, just doing the small talk, let me know if you need any help. And then they'll call you back again a little bit later. It gets really, really hard, really, really fast. And the reality is most local operations, they don't know what to do. That's okay. Everybody has to start somewhere. So we wanted to create, the tools. That's why we have a lot of free tools, the tools and the resources and the services, the solutions, and try to make it a no-brainer in order to help the people who really need help. So anyways, it's a little bit of a tangent, I guess, but.
And that's exactly how we use DenOps in Sheridan, the body shop we were working at there. I think we processed more cars through the past 2 months, I guess, than they'd normally get in the entire year. So that was a huge wake-up call for them. But we had DenOps come out there, and they helped us get everything set up. Since we're doing kind of the beta testing stuff to try it out, works perfectly. Now we're just doing supplements and some other things like that on the back end, but we were able to process that entire hail side of his shop for him while he continued doing his collision work. So he was just collecting from all the work that we were doing, which benefited everybody. But we wouldn't be able to do that without the processes that they've provided. So pretty insane. Even with the approvals with some of those insurance companies that Randy was talking about. I had the same issue with one shops. In this situation, we were able to get Tyler out there. We had about 30 of them lined up, I believe, and he came out. He coordinated with the adjuster from that insurance company, multiple insurance companies. They met on site and approved all 30 that day. And just started crushing through them. So things like that, you just never get that. Something I wouldn't be able to do on my own if I was a standalone shop, or even who we are today. I wouldn't be able to do that without the services that they're giving us. So pretty outstanding stuff.
That's
all
incredible.
The solutions are there. So
that's an awesome information to have right there.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Oh, lost.
I think we lost Josh. Well, didn't mean to lose Josh, but we've been on for about an hour and 15, almost an hour and 10 minutes. So
yeah, a while.
Oh, there he is. I don't know where he went.
Back. Yeah, keeps doing that. So.
We can go ahead and wrap this thing up. I know it's getting late for you guys. I mean, I know it's only 6:15 my time, but I know it's getting kind of late for you guys. But first of all, Josh, congratulations on the success of the Storm guys and using DenOps and being their guinea pig for that matter. I mean, you guys obviously are helping Noah out with DenOps, but it's street. It's benefiting y'all tremendously, and thank you very much for coming on here, because I think it's a lot of vital information for guys in the industry about what the services can truly provide. Not just that translation of the estimate and the estimate itself. I mean, that's huge. Don't get me wrong. It's so much a huge part of what DenOps does. but it's just a small part of what DenOps does, and it can truly help you grow your business. I know if you were around back when I was chasing full time, it's a no brainer. It really is.
Yeah.
And Randy's been doing this for
I'm going after it now.
Randy, you know that there was more in St. Louis than you could handle. St. Louis got crushed. He's fine.
Right. Yeah. Randy, you're not that fast. Calm down. I mean, but that's the truth. I mean, it would have been a game changer. It truly was. I mean, and I know I've talked to Randy about it many times, off the air. I mean, not sitting here trying to blow sunshine, but I know it's benefited Randy and the company, his company there, just in what he's done, what DenOps has done for them. And Randy's been doing this for, Moby Dick was a minnow.
Come on now. So I will. Yeah, I have got to tell anybody that's joining in. It's like, yeah. I mean, I can speak for DenOps and Class Estimating. First of all, Noah, you're really, really slick. You could educate all of us, and I know it's because you've got a great team around you guys, and you've absorbed all your education from everybody around you, and it definitely shows. And you're talking about Paul and Tim earlier. You could not find two better people, and his parents are just amazing. His brother kind of sucks at fishing, but besides that,
yeah.
No,
anyway, he's great.
A
huge shout out to my brother was here with me a little while ago, but then also Ryan Prokop, who we haven't even talked about here, but he basically keeps the estimating and the claims. He's our head of services, basically our director of services at DenOps. He keeps things running. So it's a huge shout out to him. I don't know if he's tuned in or not. And then the rest of our team too, like you just mentioned, Randy, we have an amazing team. We have an amazing team, and it really takes an entire team to be able to do it. We're over 25 people at this point, which is crazy because we just launched in 2022. So it happened fast, but in order to make a difference, you got to do what you got to do. So we really care about it.
Hey, really quick, Josh, what's your last name?
Ratterman.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Ratterman.
All right.
By the way.
Yep.
Guys, I'm out of here tonight, but it's been great listening to this. You guys did fantastic. And I think it was a really, really good episode here. You make me want to come to the seminars, Noah, and sit through. Maybe I should. I don't know. I've got my granddaughter and my wife with me, and I think I got a fun day planned for them on Thursday to get ready for Friday and Saturday. But man, that sounds like an action-packed seminars.
We'll get you some recordings, but yeah, you got to take the time. You got a lot of stuff going on at MTE also. It's a marathon.
It certainly is, ain't it?
I love how everybody always, gives me grief. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to go take a vacation for a week and go to MTE. Vacation, my ass.
Yeah, not a that's how I feel too. We're there to work.
People don't get
our only vacation on that trip is actually just getting some sunshine out on the lake fishing.
Right.
And that's not even, and Lee and I are working that, as well as all of our volunteers. My wife's working, I mean, we're all on board with that. And
I think Chelsea decided she wanted to fish the tournament just so she didn't have to work.
Yeah, probably so. All right, guys, I'm out of here, but guys, thank you. Okay.
Randy, I'll talk to you.
Josh, nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Out of here tonight. And Josh, thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you. I can't wait to meet you in person at MTE.
Absolutely.
And thank you very much for the couple of podcasts you've been on, and thank you very much for everything that DenOps does, not just for the industry, but everything that you're doing for the foundation and all the sponsorship of the boats and the raffle and everything that you do for the foundation. We greatly appreciate it. No, we truly do. Absolutely. From the bottom of our heart. Yeah, well, gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to say goodnight, and I will see you guys next week.
Yep, we'll see you next week. Appreciate you.
Have a